Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wayne Gaming. Some of you may on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of NeveN, Ket's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go, girl. Alright, alternate timeline. I suppose some extra motivation may be needed. Motiva. Before I can finish my sentence, Vol comes up to me and slaps me as hard as he can. What the? Are you a lunatic? Watch your language. I raised my hand against my cheek, but the pain is gone just as quickly as it appeared. What's happening? You saw something, didn't you? What? Just now, you saw something. Describe it to me. It's a bit like yesterday. I didn't activate my brand and you fucking slapped me. Calm down. Don't forget it never happened. Vol, what's going on? By the gods, what's happening to me? Another proof of the greatness of said gods and the generosity of their gifts. And what does this mean exactly? I told you, I think your power has two aspects. The first is to freeze things, to stop them as if time is no longer affecting them. The second allows you to experience the world as it would exist without your power. You see what would have happened if you had not used it. You can see two possibilities. The world that is, as well as the world that could have been. So, what? Every time I activate my brand, I'll see two versions of what's happening around me? It would seem so. How exactly does this help me? I don't know yet. But there's no doubt that if NeveN offers you this power, it has a deeper meaning. Yeah, but wait a second. That means you intended to slap me. Even if you didn't, and yesterday, you're really gonna throw that pebble at me. Pain can sometimes trigger a brand. That's how I learned to use mine. Yeah, well, I didn't. I don't work like that, so you forget that option immediately. Hit me again, and I'm out of here. I don't think you understand your situation, so I'm going to be extremely clear. Vol approaches me, towering over me as he awakens his brand, making the metal on his arms vibrate. The council may not have found it necessary to place you entirely in the custody of the temple, but during the hours you spent here, you are under my care. I have the right to use any method I deem necessary to teach you, and you have no say in the matter, not one word. Don't forget that the decision of the council can always be reversed. We can demand again that our kings lock you up somewhere. One day, once you master your brand, you'll be NeveN's chosen one, the god's representative on Telsin. But for now, you're just an insolent bard caught in the middle of matters he doesn't understand. He plunges his gaze into mine. I try to stand up to him. The boar is more than impressive like that, but there's no way I'm going to let him walk all over me. I'm not nearly as stupid as you seem to think I am. I am perfectly aware of my situation. That doesn't mean I plan to let you beat me up because you think that's the best way to learn. And indeed, I need the temple's help for this. The temple. Not your help specifically. Do you really think our kings or Prince Mielborn would approve of your methods? There are teachers out there. There are other teachers out there. We stare at each other for a moment, and the silence between us is quickly becoming oppressive. It is, however, Vol who yields first. So be it. I suppose I have approached this whole problem with the wrong state of mind. It seems that I need to consider some of my methods. I'm glad to see it we are in agreement. However, I demand in return that you respect the sanctuary. I'm here to teach, and you are here to learn. No more jokes. No more insolence. Got it. That shouldn't be too difficult, not to mention that I never wanted to piss off the priest. But I do need to set some boundaries, and quickly. I'm tired of being demeaned at the slightest opportunity. Let's start again. We will now see how long you can keep your brand active. I eventually settled into a daily routine. In the morning, brand training with Vol. In the afternoon, rehearsal with the cat. And every other day, I had to learn how to fight with Gilliant and some other guards. The mornings are clearly the most interesting parts of my day. With each session, the priest and I discover new characteristics of my brand and its possibilities. This is especially true when it comes to my limits in terms of time of use. 1 minute of activation is my maximum, at least for now. After that, I just find myself on the ground, panting and exhausted, and able to activate my brand until I've had some time to rest. Vol then wanted to know if I was capable of freezing more than one thing at a time. To my surprise, the answer is yes. It turns out that I'm able to stop not one, not even two, but 3 small stones at a time. It's difficult, but I can do it. Then came the question of the size, and that's where things got a little more complicated. At first we found I could not stop rocks that were more than half my size, and we both thought that was the limit. However, presumably to test his theories or to change the medium, Vol asked me to freeze in time a huge scroll of parchment fully unrolled. It was much larger than me, and I had no problem doing it. We experimented further, and we reached a conclusion. My limit is not a question of size. It's a question of weight. I can freeze 80 kilograms, more or less. For the rest, we mostly spent a lot of time working on my endurance and my speed to activate my brand, in between rest periods to allow me to recover. I never thought that using a brand could be so tiring. I am also starting to get used to the visions that appear to me every time I deactivate it. At least they allow me to make sure Vol keeps his promise, since he never hit me in any of them again. I also keep my promise to be quiet as best I can. Sometimes it's really, really hard not to say anything. The rehearsals with the kit are also going well. Our styles are blending nicely, and we now have a few songs ready for the festival. We're exchanging ideas about how to best use my brand, but so far, nothing conclusive. These rehearsal sessions, however, do not help in clarifying how I feel about a cat. I keep seeing Vigo in him, but at the same time, they are so different, and I don't want to risk talking about it. So 2 weeks pass in relative peace, until finally my sleep is disturbed by someone knocking on my door early in the morning. Looking out of my window, I can see that the sun has only just risen. It's way too early for my training with Vol. This better be important. As I open my door, I run into one of the castle servants to give him my gloomiest look. What? Lord Ellois, you are needed for council meeting. Urgently. Excuse me? King Lusk and King Aeon await you and ask you to hurry as much as possible. It's too early for such information. Wait, a council meeting? Why? I am afraid their majesties have not passed on this information to me. If I may, my lord, I still need to inform Lord Edwine. He then salutes me and runs off down the corridors. What's going on? There's only one way to find out, I guess. I'm dressing as quickly as I can before heading for the council chamber. Excuse me. The castle's inhabitants are still asleep at this hour, and I walk through mostly empty and silent hallways until I hear light footsteps ahead. After turning the corner of the hall, I'm pleased to see Astrid standing right in front of me. Well, no reason to be suspicious. She was on my side during the last council, after all, and she may have changed her mind about me. Lady Astrid, hello! Lord Ellois. I have to suppress a shudder when I hear her reply. Nope, she still hasn't forgiven me. Do you know why we've been summoned so early in the morning? No more than you do, but that shouldn't be hard to guess. Really? Isn't it obvious? We have no doubt received a reply from Mekad regarding your awakening and the attack on their diplomats. I almost stumble as I listen to her. I obviously haven't forgotten all that, but I've done all I can to push it to the back of my mind. I have more urgent things to think about. But right now, I realize that war is closer than it seems. I see that you understand the importance of this meeting. I suppose my concern is made evident by my expression. Therefore, I trust that you will be sensible this time. We do not need the nonsense of a bard right now. I don't think I was nonsensical during the last council meeting. It's true, and that was a pleasant surprise. Before I can answer, we arrive in front of the council chamber where the royal family is already waiting for us. Astrid bows to salute our monarchs, and I do the same. King Lusk and Aeon, Prince Melbjorn. Hi! I can almost hear Astrid growl as she stares at me in outrage. It's possible for me to be serious without fundamentally changing who I am, so I hope she will learn to appreciate my casualness. The kings wait for us to sit down, then Aeon lays a rolled scroll in front of him. Meanwhile, Melbourne nods at me with a worried look. The urge to strike up a conversation with him is strong, but something tells me this is neither the place nor the time. Edwine and Vol soon arrive and take their places, while Aeon wastes no time in starting the discussion. I am not going to ramble on for hours. I think you all know why we are here. Mekad has sent a response to what has been happening lately. Is this good news? Yes and no. Let's say it's strange, to say the least. How so? The quickest way to show you what I mean is to read their message. Aeon? Water time. Alright, guys and gals, we are back. Let's jump right back into it, shall we? Alright. The tiger stretches out his hand and unrolls the scroll before him. King Aeon, the living shadow, blah blah blah. The news of the loss of our diplomatic convoy is most distressing. Good Anthracans have died in this misadventure, and their loss weighs heavily on us all. Your prompt response and compensation are most appreciated. It will be distributed among the families of the victims. It will probably not help them to grieve, but we hope it will ease their pain a little. We would also like to assure you that we do not hold the Frostfang Kingdom responsible for this incident. As you have stated in your letter, this is an animal attack, and no kingdom can foresee such an event. We therefore agree to put this unfortunate incident behind us and hope to maintain our good relations in the future. His Majesty, the God King, blah blah blah. Silence follows the reading of the letter. They don't blame us for what happened? That's a rather good thing, isn't it? Theoretically it is, but it's not normal behavior at all. Can't we just accept that times have changed? This is not the same leader as during the last war. That's not the problem. Even if they say they would like to maintain good diplomatic relations, not reacting at all is more than suspect. I would have expected a delegation to be sent to verify our claims at the very least. That's what I would have done anyway, but here, nothing. They accept our version of events without any conditions. There's something behind it. Aren't they simply afraid of the presence of NeveN's chosen one in our nation? I understand Mekad well enough to know that it will take more than that to scare them, not to mention that no matter how trained Ellois is, he is still a mere individual. And I know that one person, even with his powers, will not be enough to take on a nation. That can only mean one thing. There is something else that holds their attention, so much so that they don't want to react at all to such an incident. But we haven't heard anything specific about what's happening in Mekad at the moment, have we? Nothing out of the ordinary, except for some preposterous rumors, but I can find out more if my lord's wish. Edwine will take care of it then. Oh, and we also sent some scouts to see if we missed anything happening near our borders. What could worry them more than our kingdom? We've been enemies for as long as we've existed. Is it a problem with the slaves? That is most likely, but there are other possibilities that should not be ignored, especially now that your brand exists. What do you... Oh, I don't forget one could have branded someone in their nation, right? Without us noticing anything, NeveN's brand was quite impressive when it appeared. They have the means to conceal this kind of information, and depending on who bears such a brand, it could cause major problems. Not to mention the importance of the god. Of course, NeveN offers us great possibilities, but if Tess also brands someone... Gentlemen, my lady, let's not get carried away. This is all hypothetical. For now, we should just enjoy the good news. Mekad has no additional hostility towards us. Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, Edwine. This news is only good in the short term, if indeed Mekad is up to something. But there's nothing we can do about it now, is there? Except wait for news from your scouts. Staying alert is a necessity. If something is happening, we need to know as soon as possible. Ellois, your training remains our priority. How's it going? For now, Ellois. Extremely well. There's no way I'm going to let Vol speak for me. I'm getting better at activating my brand, and I'm beginning to understand its limits and possibilities. So we'll be able to see a demonstration soon. I will give you a show at the festival, my king, to you and to the whole kingdom. I'm beginning to get an idea of what I could do. I don't like it, far from it, but I know it will impress them. Aeon nods before speaking again. We ask you to keep your eyes open, and try to find out what's going on. Discreetly, if possible. We don't need our neighbor to know that we suspect something. A new moment of silence settles in. And regarding the attack itself, have we made any progress? Not really. We were able to confirm that all the wounds were from animal bites and claws, but how they managed to defeat armed guards remains a mystery. Not to mention that there was a noticeable presence of several different animals that don't usually live together. Our best lead at the moment is a theory of a group of animals trained to attack. By whom and why remains a mystery. So it has nothing to do with me? Unless someone was able to predict the awakening of your brand, probably not. Training wild animals can take a while. There's something else behind it. Is it possible that someone... here we go. Is it possible that someone is trying to stir up tension between Frostfang and Mekad? I know this is something that happens a lot in stories. We are not in a story. He's not entirely wrong. If someone was really trying to stir up the already smoldering hostility between our nations, this would be a way to do it. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Teresm Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to your ultimate tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!